I want to start this video off saying that I love van life and I've lived this lifestyle in one form or another for the last 10 years now. That being said, there are some serious downsides to this life, like last night when we got pulled out of the car after midnight by 2 police officers saying we were camped illegally. It was National Forest, which you're almost always allowed to camp on, and we found the spot through iOverlander with other people that had camped there and had no issue. But yeah, they pulled us out, put us in the spotlight, basically in our underwear, and ran our IDs, asked us a bunch of questions, and they did end up letting us stay the night, which was nice of them, but it was very uncomfortable. So that's reason number 1 that van life can really suck, is you never know where you're gonna sleep, and there's always the opportunity to get pulled out of your car by police officers. You could potentially get a ticket, maybe get towed if you're in the wrong place, and it can be a real hassle sometimes. You can spend hours driving around trying to find a spot. Right now we're in Glacier National Park and camped at a actual campsite here, just because the style spots around here are either like super filled up or they're just like a pull off on the side of the road. The second thing that sucks about van life is nature. If you live in a small van especially, you're gonna spend most of your time outside, which means dealing with the elements, dealing with bugs like mosquitoes like there are here. The mosquitoes are crazy bad tonight. Yeah, just otherwise dealing with all the elements, wind, rain, heat, cold, all of that stuff, snow. Reason 3 is breakdowns. The van is not only a vehicle, but it's also your home. So if you break down, you get stranded. This happened to me in the spring when the transmission went into limp mode, leaving me stuck in a giant city.
That's all transmission failure.
Fortunately, I wasn't totally broke down. I could still drive just at like 20 miles an hour. So I could still like bounce around between like Walmart, Planet Fitness, and the shop that was working on it was letting me just camp in their lot. But there is the potential that you could have a full breakdown and then you would be essentially out of a home. Maybe have to spend a while in a hotel. And if you have a van that has fancy parts that take a long time to order, then you could be stuck waiting a long time, potentially weeks, while they work on that. And if you're in something like a Sprinter or in more expensive fancy vans, it could be quite expensive. Something like a Grand Caravan is cheap, there's a lot of parts, they're readily available, you can find parts at junkyards, things like that, so that's definitely a plus to something like this. But yeah, that's reason number 3 that van life sucks. Organization. Small spaces devolve into chaos very, very quickly, and you'll spend a lot of your time organizing, packing, and cleaning. Expect at least an hour a day, and if you're moving camp somewhere, yeah, it's like an hour before you can do anything or go anywhere. Securing everything, making sure things aren't gonna fall off of tables, and making sure there's nothing on the roof or under the van, which you should always try to avoid just because of that reason. Do your 4-point checks, walk around the van before you leave. But yeah, organization is very difficult in small spaces. Van life can be very hard on your knees. Kneeling in and out of these tiny little spaces, your knees are gonna get sore. I learned this the hard way. I ended up with like a little bit of, I don't know, fluid under my kneecap or something, and my left knee started hurting. I've been being a lot more cognizant, aware of this now, and trying to like squat more, trying to like lunge more into the van instead of just kneeling, going on my knees all the time. But yeah, if you're like going in and out of tiny spaces, your knees might get sore. Nutrition. Being on the road means moving a lot. And if you don't have like a dedicated like stove set up in the van itself, keeping up with your health can be difficult. You end up eating a lot of like maybe fast food, a lot of just easy meals like sandwiches and I don't know, whatever's easy and fast, you end up eating a lot of it instead of like actually taking the time to set up stoves and like cook healthy, nutritious meals. It's a lot better if you are slow traveling, which I definitely prefer to do, and spend like multiple days in the same location. But if you're like moving around a lot, driving up across the country to like visit a park like Glacier here, then yeah, expect your diet to suffer a little bit. Money. Working from the road can be very difficult, and there's a whole lot of different ways to go about it. That's a topic for a whole other video, but if you're living on the road, it can be challenging to just maintain a living. Most people, I feel like, just work and save. You could live in your van and hold a real job still in a city, work for a few months, and then just take off and play until the money gets low, get another job somewhere. Or you can find jobs, find work on the road. But yeah, like work can be really challenging out here and keeping up with everything. Hygiene. If you're out here, you're probably not showering often. We're probably lucky if we get 2 showers a week. And yeah, maybe Ilsa here can comment on this one.
Baby wipes.
Baby wipes are very good
And
for
a
living
sponge.
in the van.
Absolutely.
A sponge works great. I use the natural sea sponge. We can take little like bird baths here and there, but expect to be dirty, expect to be grungy, and it's not as bad as you think most of the time. Relationships. It can be very difficult to like maintain friendships, relationships, family, stay in touch with people. It's not all that easy on the road. At the same time, it does open up other opportunities. Most of your friends will also tend to be vagabonds.
I'm really just crying because I'm surrounded by some of the most amazing people I've ever met right now. And it's bringing tears of joy and happiness to like my face right now. Gotta go home, but check me out next time, all right? It's like, I'm not even open to it.
Yeah.
Or else you travel around the country just like visiting other friends that you've made out there. Find free places to stay that way sometimes. But yeah, relationships can be very challenging and difficult to maintain from the road, especially when you're outside of cell service for long periods of time. And last but not least, is one that terrifies me probably the most, and that is break-ins. If somebody breaks into your van, everything you own is in there, and yeah, that would really suck. So you can get insurance, insure the valuable things, try to batten down the hatches, hide whatever you can, maybe install a little safe in there somewhere. But yeah, take as many precautions as you can, hide what you can, and at the end of the day, you know, it's only possessions, so try to back up your hard drives, do all that kind of stuff, and yeah, life goes on, I guess. To close this on a happy note, living in a van might really suck sometimes, but all these challenges will make you really appreciate all the little things in life that most people take for granted. When you get a shower, you're going to love that shower. Food can be the best thing ever. It can be Kraft mac and cheese, and yet when you eat it, after like a long hike or just being out here, being tired, exhausted, grungy, it's gonna taste like the best meal you've ever had in your life. So yeah, appreciate the little things. The highs and the lows out here are extreme. The good times are really good, the bad times are really bad. And without those low moments, without those bad times, you don't really appreciate the good ones. So yeah, just want to close the video out on this. Hope it helps prepare you for this lifestyle if you're really thinking about living this one, and happy trails. Where am I going with this? I gotta